So where do I begin? As young kids, David and I grew up fishing and hunting and just being in the outdoors with our pop and nanny, with our dad and mom. We just lived outdoors, all sports. Every time something crazy would happen, we would always just be like, man, I wish we had a camera, or man, we should have recorded this or recorded that. And when I called my brother and said, hey man, I just shot that big deer, he showed up, he grabbed his phone and immediately started recording. And this is where it all began.
But this is a Seek 1 deer for sure, Roman's biggest ever.
Shoot this 10-pointer that I've got on camera. He's been showing up every day just before dark. He does the same thing again today, but what would happen next I was not ready for.
So yeah, I got this picture of this 10-pointer and decided to go kill it. So I hit my brother up and I said, hey man, I'm gonna go shoot this 10-pointer over here at this piece of property. The 10-pointer came out, but he looked up at me and saw me in the tree. When he saw me in the tree, he just wouldn't let go. He just kept looking, kept looking. By that time, a couple does had rolled out. I'm looking from where the deer are coming, and I see this other deer coming. I'm like, oh no, what is this? So this deer comes out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's bigger than the 10. So I wasn't even thinking about the 10-pointer anymore. The 10-pointer got a little squirrely because I was trying to get set up on this deer, and this deer wouldn't give me a shot. He was just facing me the whole time.
Hey dude, will you turn broadside and give me a freaking shot now, please?
And that 8-pointer turned his head and looked behind him like, where are y'all going? And then he kind of went with them.
So unfortunately, he never turns broadside to give me a shot. The 10 and the doe end up pulling him away with them. So I get down after they disappear and I give my brother a call.
Man, I seen this huge deer. I don't know what he was, but he was big. He was so big, and that's all you kept saying. And I was just thinking in my head, man, he's crazy. And I think you sent me a picture, like the next morning.
After I leave, the deer come back in, give me some good pics so that I can analyze exactly just how big this deer was. And he's exactly what I thought he was, a giant.
Did you hunt him the next day, or was it?
No, so I told you, you told me to go hunt the next day. And I said, nope, I ain't doing it. I'm giving them 3 days.
That's right.
And I'll hunt again.
Yeah.
So on January 14th, I was there. He came in. I had about 6 minutes of legal shooting light left. And I made the shot.
Yeah. I think you called me shortly after.
Oh, dude, it didn't take long. I got down and I got over to the fence line and I literally found one drop of blood. But I marked it with another arrow out of my quiver and I called you. And you said, don't go after him. Wait for me.
Yeah.
So that's what I did, man. I waited. But it was...
waited very anxiously.
Oh my gosh, you talk about nerves. Oh man, waiting to go after a big deer is the hardest thing in the world.
We're over here tracking a 150-inch 8-pointer for Wayne. I'm commentating for you. I just told him we're dragging out a 150-inch 8-pointer for Wayne. He shot it with his 1980 bow. No new string in 20 years. Instinctive. I really hope this deer's dead. Stay tuned, guys. Okay.
From behind that tree, that's where I drew at. He walked this way, away from me, turned.
Where's your stand? there. You see it right there. Oh yeah. Okay. So he's about 25 yard shot.
He's right there.
Okay.
Blood somewhere in here.
Where's your blood? Oh yeah, boy. Ladies and gents. Got more? Yes, you did. Wait, right here. Wait, right here. This way. Right here. Coming through here, right in through here. He stopped right there, didn't he? Is that where he stopped? Okay, it looks like he stopped right here for a second. That's dope, bro. Look, that looks like gut in it. Looks like gut. I'm not sure, but look at it. Look at it. There's gut in there. One right here. Oh shit. I hope you tried it hard, son. See your arrow. Is it broke? Hold on. It's broke.
Yeah, the broadhead's broke off in him.
Oh shit. You gonna hit that shoulder. You gotta take that through. Okay, you gotta be blood, right? Oh my goodness, I think I'm gonna try to cross this creek. I'm gonna be dead down in the damn river. There's tons of blood right there. Tons of blood. It busted open, I think, in here. Yeah, I think it busted open in here. You got your light. Turn mine off.
So our blood starts to get a little scarce in here, and we contemplate backing out. We look for about another 15-20 minutes following drops, and then decide to make the final call and call a dog and get out of here for the night. So that's what we do.
So the dog comes out and starts looking for the deer. I've got my bow with me, but the handler didn't want me to carry a arrow knot, which is understandable. They don't want you to accidentally shoot the dog. So we start on the track. The dog's kind of working the area. He's smelling a lot of us, and he's working the area, and he gets down to the river and stays in the area for a minute or two, and then kind of starts working his way back up the river.
Yeah.
Down river. So David and I are following behind, and they're about 70 yards out in front of us by now.
Yeah, we're probably, I don't know, we were at least 400 or 500 yards in the track. I would say we were at least 500 yards.
Yeah, probably 500 yards in the track.
Yeah.
And we're following behind the dog now about 70 yards or so.
Yeah, they were getting way out up in front of us. The dog was kind of just walking a straight line, and at this point we were just kind of discouraged a little bit. You could tell the dog, we didn't think the dog was hitting on much. He wasn't acting like what we've seen before with dogs. He wasn't behaving that way, and we thought he was kind of just hitting the path and walking down it. And little did we know that we were wrong. And all of a sudden, I look up and this deer has come up off the creek bank, and he tried to like rear flank the dog. And he didn't know that we were standing there. Wayne starts fumbling, trying to get an arrow knock to try to get a shot, and he's fumbling. I mean, we got this deer standing there as a giant. I mean,
At 10 yards.
Yeah, he was 10, 15 yards.
Yeah.
Just standing there looking at us. I mean, just looking like, and he's probably stood there 5 seconds, but just in the moment, he's trying to get one knock, couldn't get one knock quick enough, and by the time he does get one knock, the deer kind of trots around us and loops around us and back down towards the river. So at that point, the tracker was, I think he was pretty much done.
He was, yeah, so the tracker he was like, yeah, he's probably dead or gonna die, but my dog isn't a cold track dog, so I don't think I'll be able to help you much. So
Yeah, he's like he's alive right now. He's not.
I paid the guy for his time and helping out, and then he gave me Russell's number, Russell Butcher and Roman, and he said, this guy right here will be able to help you.
So hey guys, Wayne with Shoulda Been Outdoors. I'm here with Russell and Roman, and Roman's hanging out over here. So when I called you that night, we ended up talking for about 2.5 hours, I think, through Messenger and stuff.
And then Travis and I talked.
Yeah.
Travis and I worked together, and I took all he did in the story. And you at a point said that he was in a state where he was stowed up when he got up, that you felt like you could almost run in there and just tackle him.
Yeah.
But every step he got better, and that's how they are. If you can get on him quick, and if you had a bow and you had your hand, you could have probably put him down, but it just doesn't always work that way. But I remember, per our call, that this is what I do. I looked at the maps. I drove over there and pre-scouted. I drove all down the roads, and I looked at the map, and I looked at the thickets behind houses that were already did kind of a pre-route, but we didn't really meet yet. And then eventually the next day, we did go, and then you remember there was snow all on the ground. And
let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
And really, we had Roman, and we kind of knew where Last Blood was, and where Freddie, had slid on by him, because he just sent what happened in that situation with the dog is the buck was there, but it's like the scent where he had been bedded there so long, he'd just been drifting down the creek.
Yeah.
So it was really hot potato pass where the deer was, because
That's
it was
right.
so long. That's how a dog kind of works. Eventually, Freddie would have come back, but then y'all hey, we saw him, and then y'all backed out, which was a great deal. But I remember what was so weird in there, we could never really let Roman do what he needed to do, because we kind of knew where he was and the river was there, so we were he was just kind of with us that day.
That's right.
And it was rough, because he was wanting to go here and I was pulling him, but the thing I remember is in the snow that was on the ground is I saw coyote urine here and there. Remember, we saw it was melted in the snow.
Yeah.
So, and with what I knew and listened to what you were saying, we kind of both agreed he'd probably gone across the river.
Somehow he made it across the river. I don't know. So
yeah, and that didn't help him.
No.
That didn't help him. So
we called an end to that day.
yeah, well, I mean, the storm was blowing in.
Conditions would only worsen as the day goes on, so we want to still encourage people, stay home, hunker down. Our crews are busy out there.
I mean, we could have gone across the river and all that, but really the wind was howling so much. There were deadfalls falling in the forest, and it was picking up.
It was.
It was picking up, and it was just too dangerous. And and then too, to get across the river, we had to get permission.
Yeah.
We had to get an access point. So, it ended up that we came back the next day, and it was cold.
Yeah, when I left that day, I went around to the other road, and that guy literally happened to be pulling out of his driveway at the same time I pulled up. And I was like, hey man, I got a deer on the other side of the river, and I'm pretty sure he came over here. Can I, go look for him?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, absolutely.
And that's
And I
awesome.
called you immediately,
Yeah.
and I was like, hey dude, I got his access.
yeah. So it saved a lot of footwork. But the thing that was interesting, which we talked about that day, and Well, I'll lead to this first. When I got out of the truck, I said, hey, now we're going to let Roman do his thing.
That's right.
And that was the first time I felt like now we're going to let him do his thing. But what was so bizarre in all my years of tracking with him, which is 9 years, he's a real quiet dog. When he does talk, you almost want to cry. He doesn't make a lot of sound ever. But when we were going down this long kind of gravel road back into this house, it was way back in the woods going down the hill. There was still strong winds that morning, and it was coming up out of this power line, kind of up this ridge down the gravel road. And I had my windows cracked, and he knew what was up. But all of a sudden, I had some fishing stuff in the back of the truck, and I thought maybe he got a treble hook in his paw or something, because he started whining. And he's never done that. To this day, he's never done that. But that wind, and to the end of the story, the coyotes got to this deer. You know, you were down on low ground. I could see you. We could almost wave to each other in certain areas. And suddenly, you know, Roman was leaning on me just a little bit, but not hard. And I saw tracks in the mud and kind of dirt from the snow melting. And I could see the drag mark, the distinctive drag mark of a hoof in the clay. And that's when I knew, you know, I let you know. And of course, you had seen a coyote down there.
Yeah, I saw it come out from underneath that truck.
Yes, and that's all. Anytime I see them, people don't like the coyote. I mean, people want to kill them, but I understand the wild dog, and you know, they have their purpose, and I kind of love them in a way, to be honest with you. And so that was kind of an indicator, and that something was going on for one to be out in daylight like that. And so we started progressing on, and suddenly it was just like we came across a green flat little meadow there, and I kind of lost you there, you know. And what was weird, I've never had this happen, and but off in the distance I saw 2 red hawks come up out of the forest, and they came up, you know, I could tell they came up off the ground. You know, it was kind of some deep dry creek beds where when it rains it rolls through there real hard, but you know, so it's deep but not a lot of water in it. And when I got down in there, and Roman kind of swung me hard around to the left, and as I got near that little deep dry creek bed area, which maybe you'll show video eventually of the deer down in there, I got kind of tangled up with Roman. Roman had already gone down the bank. So, you know, all this effort and time put into this buck, and everything we went through, I swirled around, got the lead untangled from my feet, and I spun around, and I saw this majestic buck on the sandbar right there. And he was chewed up, but to see it, and then that feeling as a tracker is more exciting to me than killing a buck myself.
Yes, sir.
Because I knew how bad you wanted to find this deer, and you were putting forth full effort. Travis had done his job, you know, and so to get to text you, I don't even think you answered your phone right away.
Yeah, I didn't.
And so I'm sitting down there, you know, I'm the first one to see him and touch him. Found a massive buck for weighing. This has been, oh my gosh, I don't know how many days ago it was shot. Just broken back leg femoral. We were hoping the coyotes may come to play. Looks like they got him up and got him down here in this water. May not have enough for a cape, but this is a Seek 1 deer for sure. Roman's biggest ever, and Roman's trying to bury it like he always does.
Guys, this 8-pointer had 6-inch bases, wasn't very wide, just crazy mass throughout his rack. Ended up grossing out at 137 and some change, netted at 131 and 5/8. Just a great 8-point. So 2022 would go on to be one of my greatest hunting seasons ever, from getting scoped, doubling up on hogs with my brother, to doubling up on 2 deer with 1 bullet. Just a crazy season. We sure appreciate y'all watching and all the support. Hit that like and subscribe button. And y'all continue on this roller coaster ride with us. Shoulda Been Outdoors is up and running. We'll be releasing a website here shortly, so y'all be ready for that. Thank you and God bless.